What's going on, everybody? This is Tagmedic. Thank you for joining me today, and today's game is going to be Whisper of the Swallows. So basically, this game is a mashup of Valheim, Kenshi, and The Long Dark in the best possible ways. This game is incredibly deep, and your first objective is to make fire and find a source of food. So you're probably asking yourself, should you pick up this game? I think you should. I think it's got a lot more polish than Hytale. It has a lot more polish than Vane when Vane launched, and it's got a lot of remnants to Valheim as well as the exploration. Alright, so you're probably wondering, like, what else is there to do inside of the game? Well, you got dungeons that are way more difficult. Everything in Valheim, picture it as times 5 the difficulty. So that means that enemies will go ahead and surround you, they will go ahead and stagger you, they will knock you out, they will go ahead and use the elements, they will have ranged magic that will be Johnny on the spot, they will also shoot you with bows and arrows. There's a number of ways to die in this game, and every time that you die, you actually lose a fraction of your health. So if we go here, it's called erosion of breath. The more you die, you get 1% or 1 HP off of your total HP pool, which is located down here, as well as your resistance to cold, as well as your resistance to damage and your resistance to magic. Everything goes down, so dying is not an option. So there's a lot of different things that happen before you cleanse the entire zone, and as we go ahead and take a look at the map here, we can see that there are tons of points of interest that you can go ahead and take a look at. This is the initial starting area. All of these change, and you can actually learn all of these different points of interest. As you can see here, I've got many different question marks, and that's because the enemies drop scrolls. These scrolls will allow you to go ahead and pick up on different items inside of the game, either dungeon entrances, they will be resource nodes like iron or ether, or they will be the power-up shards that you can go ahead and collect, or they're going to be actual teleport points. Yes, I said teleport points. So each one of these TPs right here is a fast track way in how you can get to the next area, and I'm actually going to go make my way down south right over here, and as you can see here, we've got a lifestone. Those are used for enchantments on your gear. As you can see here, I've got shards of carrying so that I can carry a ton of stuff, and then a couple of logs or rods of iron vein. So those are just some of the things that you can do inside of the game. So as we see over here, we've got actually an enemy that is one of the harder variants. So we're gonna go ahead and take this guy out, and hopefully we can get him to attack first, or we just run away and we can stagger him, take care of him. And of course, the way the loot works is that it's a collection system. So that means that you get books for collecting this guy's noble hide, bones, guts, meats, animal fats. All this different stuff is a skill, and all of these skills are located here, and everything that you do inside of the game is learned by doing. So that means that if I'm looting enemies, the search skill would be right there. If I'm looting a carcass, the carcass skill will be right here. And the greater this level is, the better that you'll be able to find actual items. So the majority of these will come up when you first engage as too difficult, and or it'll take a long time, like 15 seconds, to go ahead and get one piece of item, which kind of is the point of the game, to beat the night. So you want to make sure that you do all your stuff during the day, because nighttime is no joke in this game. There are enemies, the darkness is as though it is pitch black. I just want to make sure I take out this guy, and you'll get you know, ganged up on by a bunch of these guys. And there's different enemies for different biomes. These mushroom people are just what is located in this zone, but you can definitely expect the same sort of warm welcome on the other end of the map too, where you start out at. So you're gonna find treasure like this, and we actually got lucky. We got a mage hat right there. Take some of those, and we'll take that, and we don't really need that because we got a level 4 one right here. So you're able to go ahead and upgrade weapons and armor, shields, magic, things like that. And of course, everything makes sense to pick up because the itemization, the way it works in this game, is that you will go ahead and accrue different pieces throughout. So that means that, you know, items that are relevant in your first starting area will still be used, like iron and, you know, different types of lumber, and foods and medicines. So there's all those different types of things. I'm gonna go ahead and put away my items. Eventually you're gonna get this place unlocked, and this place is the main teleport breath portal. So each one has 4 slots for offering a certain type of item. This portal takes a flower of passage, and of course I've got all these labeled here on my map for where I found them. These flowers do respawn, so make sure that you mark them down in case you need to find them for another node. Like over here in the mother trees, there's a certain shard that you need for the main portal, which pretty much mimics this one. And when you activate this, there's this whole boss encounter and waves of enemies, so you got to make sure that you have enough firepower and patience in order to go ahead and get everything done for it. But once you open it up, you can teleport practically anywhere. That brings us all the way over here to base building. So base building inside of the game is actually handled by clicking on this menu, and you have a bunch of different build pieces. This is all governed by the carpentry skill, and like any other skill, it's learned by doing. So that means by creating planks, you're going to be contributing to carpentry skill, and that gives you the ability to make just this simple set. So far, there's no stone buildings yet in the game. Again, this is an early access, and you're able to go ahead and build outside of your safe bubble that you initially start at, as you saw in the beginning of the game. And of course, we run out of fuel. I'm going to go ahead and toss some fire in there, and you're able to go ahead and build right next to the main breath portal. This is basically the building that I was running to, and it is located inside this rock. At this moment, you cannot mine the rock, but there are large spaces, and of course you can dig the ground down, which is what I did in order to go ahead and place the foundation and ultimately get the front door and of course back door over here. So with that, you got a bunch of different utility stations. The utility crafting stations all have different levels. As you can see here, there's an upgrade icon that you can go ahead and upgrade all of your gear, all of the necessary materials that are required. And of course, you can also smelt everything that you brought home. So, like, we can go ahead and pick up some of these, and of course put them in here, light our fire up, let it produce all those ingots, and of course tan all of the leathers that we have, and of course cook all of our food here on the advanced campfire. So there's a lot that is still being added, and this game has just so much promise to it. I know that it looks awful as my review stated on Steam, but it's mechanically solid. So if you guys are wanting to check this game out, I highly implore you do. It's $13 on Steam, and it is one of the more very polished games that came out in the open world survival crafting genre. So with that, guys, thank you very much for sharing your time with me. Please like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you all in the next one. Have a good day. Bye bye.